Whoa, we're back for some Bleach Soul Resonance, and we're going to be heading into the last little bit of content we got. So we have cleared most everything else that has sort of been up at the bat. We have gotten our limited time trial done. We have gotten most of, I would say, this stuff done. I don't think there's anything else. We will be doing a video where we just craft stuff, see how things go. Do a little crafting on screen. We've gotten most of the rewards here, I think. No, we've still got a few more, maybe a few more days worth. Yeah, we still got a little bit more, so that's fine. We'll just be doing those daily. But as far as the actual active content, I guess, like the fighty content, we're essentially done. We have one more fight to go, though. We have one more fight to go, and that is Aizen, who we have prepped up here at the 6th fight. Now, one thing that is perplexing is that these characters are 33,000. The reason that is perplexing, and I wonder if this was an oversight, maybe a bug, is because the characters in the last two were 52,000. So I will not be doing this one free to play just because I don't think these characters are strong enough. I did take them in for a second and I did some, hitting, and I was like, wow, I'm not doing any fucking damage. So let's use my team, which is just a slightly bit stronger. I could even go as far as to just say, let's use this team. But we'll see. We'll give it a go. So before we do that, though, Jade check. We have 9 tickets, and this is I have hit the wheel daily, which I did not pay for. There's just a free-to-play wheel daily twice on tickets. So we have 9 tickets, 34,000 Jade. With the news of a new type, by the way, my opinion has not changed. Do not pull for this character. The character that will make Thrust come alive, and will be essentially the only character that makes Thrust come alive, is this one right here. This is the guy. He's coming soon. Do not waste any of your Jade on Nelliel. If you wasted your Jade on Nelliel because you saw someone say that you should grab her now that there's a new typing or what have you, rest in peace. I do not think it was worth it at all. Nelliel is... she's a lot of investment for very little return at this point. If you do not have her at Boundary 2, or even Boundary 1, I think you have a character that is not very useful with Ichigo. So hopefully you did not fall for the propaganda, but I do not think she is worth getting. I don't care how many months away a new Thrust Tactics is. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. So 35,000 Jade by the time Bambi comes out is going to be pretty sweet. Maybe even 36,000 Jade, depending on the remaining rewards, and weekly, of course, resetting. But let's get into it. Like I said, I'm going to use my own. Enemies take 100% extra when they are in spiritual pressure dissipation. So I think what's going to end up happening is we're going to do something like this, because my already has, of course, pretty strong spiritual pressure dissipation. And we'll just see how this goes, but this guy seems strong, or rather, the trial characters don't seem as strong as the previous ones, so who knows? But yeah, maybe it'll go fine. I don't know how you're supposed to do this with the trial characters with their power being so much weaker than the previous set, but hey, yeah, let's get into it. And we come back in on the actual fight now. It went pretty well. I will say that you don't have to play it too tight, but if you miss the parries, you probably aren't clearing this fight without some dupes, and that's just the reality of it. The damage resistance / damage buff you get, so right here, because she's stuck in the animation, I don't get the parry, and that's pretty meaningful. You'll see as the time ticks down how important that actually ended up being, but yeah, it is very meaningful that we did not get the parry when he first did that attack there, because you really need to do most of your damage in the spiritual dissipation state. Otherwise, he just tanks, man. It's Aizen. Aizen is one of those fights that I think the Aizen that is sort of in his Arankar drip, his non-captain drip, or I guess just his Wakamundo drip, is a more difficult fight, but Aizen's just waste your time. And because these are fights in the game, the fights are typically about time expenditure. You know, you do end up needing those seconds, even if it comes down to like 5 seconds or 6 seconds or 7 seconds. Like it is important. One thing I think I made a mistake, and we do get the parries here. If you don't hit those parries, you will lose this fight, I think. But one thing that I regret there is not holding the Juji show until after. I think it would have been the better choice. I really do. There's probably no real reason to let it rip right before he was going to break anyway. But in my head, also, she misses the spear because he's in the air. That is a very funny thing that Nelliel can sometimes have happen. Most of the ultimates in the game have an AoE property to them that sort of sustains, but or like vacuums or what have you, which is very nice just for the ability to get these done. But yeah, Nelliel is one of the characters who can have a funny little time sort of you know, dashing through the enemy. And again, we get the parry here, and I believe we go into Transcendence. Oh no, we're waiting this time. Okay. It is costing us a little bit of time. No, we do go into Trends here. Oh my god, there's that hold button like flub that they were gonna patch out. So we stop short of using the Juji show, and we just sort of walk around here. And again, this goes back to what I said with like the waiting. Like you do have to wait for him to do animations. The camera glitches out a little bit there, but yeah, very, very sad sort of affairs. Hopefully we can get another one up right before he spiritually breaks, because that is going to be the tail of the tape. Yeah, I don't know. It feels like a difficult fight. If you have White, if you have Kenpachi, and if you have Mayuri, maybe you could get more spiritual dissipation out of the fight. You could use Strike, but I would say that, again, Strike sort of clocks in at the weakest. And, okay, so there we go. Nice. Okay. Strike sort of clocks in at the weakest to me, just like generally. And that means that even at the best of times, even though they crush, Strike crushes the spiritual dissipation bar because of just the amount of counters and stuff they're doing. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's like worth it. We get a pretty good rotation here going to Juji show. We definitely needed this one with how close it ends up being. But yeah, I don't really know what teams I would recommend, honestly, if you don't have Trishikai Ichigo. Outside of just having, you know, but dupes, of course. If you just have dupes and Aizen, you're dupe for Aizen, you know, Olkieta, it's gonna work. And you know what I mean? It's like, it's such a difference. But if you're free to play low spending and you don't have any of those things, I do wonder if it'll be enough with B0, B1s and not having like a Mayuri, not having Nelliel at B2 even. Like, you know, that's a thing people sort of, I think, forget, is that even though, again, free-to-play account, and I do think that B0 to B2 is sort of the sweet spot with free-to-plays, you know, I pulled... Ooh, we missed. I pulled Nelliel when I was still, like, before I ever started doing the monthly to sort of maintain B0 characters, and that was, like, so that was, like, completely free-to-play. Like, not even, like, free-to-play leaning or anything like that. That was, like, a completely free-to-play time in the channel. And it's easy to forget like how much he's getting and how much he's outputting because of that. A lot of Nelliel's longevity on my teams have been because of that, and I think that for a long time I would have considered her the best character in the game, just because so many characters were elements, so many characters were able to make use. I mean, it wasn't even so many characters, it's just that she was just outputting so much. But we are far and away from that time, but we do get a big chunk of damage there, by the way. Hell yeah. So we should be getting double show the ult. Yes, so cool. What a cool looking character, man. I mean, I get it, you know, it's been a good time for complaining, I'd say, in the Bleach Soul Resonance community. People have been very antsy about things, and I don't think those things are wrong per se. I don't think you can't have complaints or what have you. You know, it's never that. But man, I have been enjoying the visual flow of Trishikai Ichigo's just, I guess, like participation in combat, and We are about to get the perfect routing for this. 17 seconds left, and we got to do 5 bars of HP. We have everything up. We're going into Transcendence now. Maybe we should have called out the Seto, because I do think it gives an amount of thrust buffing, but either way, blasting them away. We're gonna get some time stops with our girl as well. We get the last bit of damage from Ichigo coming out, go into the ultimate, tiny sliver left, and I'm gonna have to see you at the numbers. So boop, 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 step on that boy. I'll see you at the numbers. And there you have it. I mean, nearly 1 billion needed to cross the finish line on this one. Not an easy one at all. I mean, 876 million is going to be tough to pull out for the average like account, I think, that just started today. I mean, no Mayuri, no Nelliel, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I guess that's why it's permanent content. It's probably if you are a free-to-play player or a newly low spending player, what have you, it might be a little tough to cross the finish line on that one. Maybe the limited characters are a little better than I'm giving them credit for, but at such low power, it feels like they really want you to use your own characters. So yeah, Ichigo, of course, is just so dominant. Nelliel, the reason I brought her up again, showing why she's fine, but if you notice, like, without that gaining, without that boundary 1, she would be so much slower out of the gate, and she's not providing the crit damage support. Mayuri, of course, is the GOAT. If you're going to pull for Nelliel, save your currency, pull for Mayuri instead. That's just my opinion, of course. Get whoever you want. We got under there, thinnest of margins, slimmest, but we do get our points, and still new record achieved, rank 61 on the server, so looks like people are sort of getting walled by it. Doesn't surprise me at all, like I said, but yeah, that's pretty cool. Nice, always nice to get a little ranking. Yeah, it feels like that one's gonna be difficult for people to cross the finish line on. I'm not going to lie. But hey, maybe you could pull that one out. If you do, go ahead and tell me how your account's doing, because that'd be pretty impressive. We go up to 34,136 Jade, and let's go look at the builds here. So Nelliel, of course, is my highest power character. I think the only character that was higher than her was Yoruichi. Oh yeah, no, she's still higher than her, yeah. Oh, it's because she's not level 100. If she was all 100, Yoruichi would be much higher, but Boundary 1 gives you 3 points of battle will when you ult. That's how, when you use something like, not this, sorry. When you use something like an ult charge third piece with some ult charge on the actual piece itself as well, you can get her to ult immediately. That's also how, when she ults immediately, she'll have enough points to actually do some of her skills instead of just sort of standing around doing nothing. Boundary Ascension 2, this is probably the thing that Nelliel is worse at on the Ichigo team, is the rotations are so awkward that keeping that at 4 stacks is kind of difficult with Ichigo running around. And it's where a character like Gin really shines. But again, so I would say for anyone like interested, if it's not Boundary 1 Nelliel, I just don't think so, man. I just don't think so. I still just don't think so. Remember, my Nelliel also has Ascension 5 core stamp. So it's something to think about. My Mayuri, by comparison, has no boundaries, is the most important character to the team, and has 5 core stamps as well. So make of that what you will. Mayuri, of course, just the best character in the game for free-to-plays, I think, still. He is. He just is. I don't know what to say. And Ichigo, of course, is 0 dupes. If you have 1 dupe or even 2 dupes as a free-to-play or low-spending player, I do think that your Ichigo might just solo that fight. I don't know if he'll get up to 800 million essentially by himself, but 87% crit rate, 111% damage, and a bunch of ailment as well. This character is a monster. I don't think that includes the crit rate he gets from elsewhere. I think he does get a little bit of crit rate somewhere, but I'm just not seeing it. But he does crit fairly regularly, with like fair regularity. So yeah, that'll be the last of the content. Essentially, the remaining content really is just going to be sort of the mini game stuff. I will be back to do a crafting guide, or not a crafting guide, but just like a little crafting session. See what we get. We got a bunch of pieces here. We'll try to figure out who we need pieces for and, you know, make it interesting. Yeah, I'm not sure. My Okieda's power went down when I gave him like an upgrade piece, but he did get more stats, which is all that's really important. Power is cool because it's like a little flex, but do remember that your stats are going to tell the tale of the tape, and the game can only sort of qualify that so much. So, yeah, we'll be back for that. Until then, I've been Lone. Like the video, subscribe to the club, make it, and peace.